Hello, I'm back with another video on what's growing in this little garden of ours, which actually I've not managed to name as yet. So I'm going to walk you around this garden and show you what all is growing here. And if you have a nice name for me to give to this garden, please do suggest it in the comments so that we can christen this little stretch here. So it's in the month of September. We are on the verge of saying goodbye to summer and welcoming winter. So you will see a mix of plants which are at the end of their life, which are summer plants, and some which are just starting off because they are winter plants as well. So come, shall we? Okay, so on my left here you will see some sponge gourd, which is actually, we have only one growing here which is a little bit overgrown, and then another one which is still a baby, not yet picked. But while that's occupying our fence, we've already started to plant radish. You'll see the radish starting to germinate on the ground here. So that's what we have growing just at the start of this garden. And then we have a few trees. So what you see behind me is actually a wood apple tree, also known as bale in Hindi, which gives a big fleshy fruit in the summer. And to my right here, you will see a whole lot of cotton. Now, what I have found is that growing cotton is great in patches which are very stony, where I don't think I can grow anything else. I just basically tuck away the cotton there because, I do get enough to make, some shrugs and rugs for myself. But it's also a nice plant. It's a perennial, and it helps to basically just keep out the weeds in areas which are otherwise might be just too messy. You can see the flowers starting to emerge on the cotton here. It's really nice and dense. In fact, I'd planted this perhaps a year or two ago, and it just grows back every year. We retune it once we've picked out the cotton balls, and then look how beautiful and lush it is right now. There's a very young lemon tree here to my left. You can see the lemons on it. And now let's just make our way past. So there's a mango tree here on my right, and there's mango, and then there's some lychee trees on the back, and they get enough sunlight because this land is a little bit higher than the land beneath. So just using the principles of stacking, these get enough sunlight, so not an issue at all. And we've used the mango to build this sort of a trellis on which we put our bottle gourd. So this is sort of coming to the end of its life now, but we hope to get a few more before winter sets in. And this is a Moringa tree, which you've seen plenty of them all around Aanandaa. I feel it's a great tree to have because it gives a nice dapple shade, and it sort of beats, it blocks out the very harsh summer sun, but at the same time the shade is not that dense that nothing can grow under it. And here you'll see a hibiscus bush with a lot of hibiscus flowers. Lately we've started appreciating the tea that one can make out of this hibiscus. So it's a nice, pretty and useful flower to have. Okay, moving on. Now this is what I wanted to really show you here in the garden. So this is what I want to show you here. It's the new variety of bhindi or okra that I'm growing. It's red in color. Yeah, it's a bit different from the typical green okra that one usually finds in the North Indian markets. But I believe it's not so unusual in some parts of the Northeast. And I really wish that my area had preserved more of its desi native plants, seeds. But I believe that with the Green Revolution, a lot of that stuff got wiped out. And I was a little bit skeptical on whether I'll be able to grow something that's come from another part of the country here. But it's really doing well, and I've left a lot of them here, as you can see, to grow out. and for seed, because I do want to propagate this quite a lot, and then maybe share this seed with many of you through my seed shop. Now here you can see a pumpkin vine and this little baby pumpkin which is growing here and showing a lot of promise. So it's going to become big in I think a week or two, and then we'll be ready to pick. So some more vines, and these structures we put together, trellises, to just up, allow some of the air to come and hit these vines, because what we've noticed is that if they just run on the ground and there's no air coming through it, then they tend to sort of not flower or fruit that well. This is actually a mehendi bush, the henna bush, and the leaves one can use to make some color. Once in a while I do take the leaves and dry them in the shade and then powder them, and we do get some really nice organic henna out of this bush. So you can put it into your hair wash powder or anything else that you want to use. Okay, so here is a sapota or a chiku tree, and then last year onwards they finally started fruiting like real fruit trees. Now chiku trees take a very long time to start fruiting. It can be up to 10 years. So we waited a really long time for this fruit, but it has been quite a delicious harvest, and we should be getting some fruit again in summer next year. What you see here behind me is another hibiscus bush, but also a whole lot of arbi or colocasia on the ground. So there's a little bit more of it growing up there, and I'll show that to you just in a minute. But here to my right you will see a lot of papaya saplings right at the back. Now they've all been planted with around papaya circles the way we do, and you will see that there's a lot of organic matter dumped at their base. But eventually they're all going to grow up to be like this one, and you can see that it's laden with fruit. A lot of it is already on the tree, and it's benefiting from the organic matter that we've dropped here at its base. So it's very little work for us, and we get fruit in exchange for kitchen waste. Couple of frangipani trees here. Never shy away from throwing in a few flower trees here and there, because they just add a lot of beauty and charm to your garden. And what is a garden if you don't want to walk through it? It's not just a transaction that you grow something, you'll get something, only then you will go there. It's also a place to nourish your soul, to feel good, to feel a connect with nature. So I always make an effort to make the gardens as pretty as productive, because I think that's important. And that is how we and the future generations will connect with nature and, want to preserve it, want to defend it because of its beauty and that connect. Otherwise, there is really no hope. Okay, let's just see the last bit here. So now we are actually at the end of this garden. I had to come all the way here to show you the colocasia, because the leaves are all following the sun. Though I'm not sure they exhibit heliotropism, but it does seem like they're all facing this side. And you can see this is a lovely patch of arbi. We should be getting it around Diwali, so another month or so to go. And this is a fig tree. After our misadventure with the original fig trees, which turned out to be inedible, we've planted the edible variety now, and they are doing well. And of course another moringa. And I'll just draw your attention to my right, where you can see a mango tree. It's a pretty large mango tree, the Langra variety. But beyond that, what you will see is really just what we call the wildlife zone. So there is, we don't go there too much. We just let that be the way it is, so that wild animals, specifically reptiles, and other burrowing animals, etc., can find their home there and don't get disturbed by us. What you see behind me is the bee yard and another garden, but I'll take you around that place on another occasion. So I hope you enjoyed this little walk with me. It's not a very large garden, but it's turning out to be a really pretty piece, which we actually only developed about 2 years ago. So I hope you enjoyed this walk, and if you haven't already, do subscribe to our channel and click on the notification icon so that you know every time I upload a new video. So much from me. Take care. Bye-bye.